Hey, just got a couple of minutes and I'm going to answer some questions. And the first one is already here. And this person says, I really want your opinion on what to do in terms of treatment. I also suffer from bipolar disorder, which I want to receive professional help for. But right now I'm forcing myself to keep going to eating disorder treatment because it's beneficial in terms of not killing myself. Yet I know that malnutrition is making everything in my life much worse. The time I spend in eating disorder treatment over the course of a week, I'm forced to restrict and suppress my extreme hunger, which feels like the last thing I need to do in order to have this recovery attempt to be successful. Well, I agree with you. I don't think that restricting and suppressing your hunger is at all what you should be doing if you are trying to recover from restrictive eating disorder. So it's a bit of a problem, isn't it? Because eating disorder treatment, you're not alone there. A lot of eating disorder treatment encourages restriction. Now, what you did say is that eating disorder treatment, or the treatment that you're going to, is beneficial in terms of you not dying. And I'd say that that's pretty high up on the list of important things. So what you have to work out is, if for whatever reason, it might be the therapy, the community, the structure, whatever reason you have identified going to this treatment, I guess you're talking about outpatient, I don't know, but you haven't specified, but say going to this day program, whatever it is helping me not kill myself or die. So that's a really good thing. We don't necessarily want to be too hasty and get rid of that. What you need to do now on top of that is work out, okay, well, actually mold this into something that's more that my recovery. Is it treatment center is actually forcing to restrict, or are they just not giving me the permission to eat more that I really feel that I need? And can I actually give myself permission to eat more? Because a lot of I would be surprised if you actually really said, hey, I need more food, give me more food. I'd be kind of surprised if they said we're not going to do that. If they did say we're not going to do that, then they're assholes. Also, outside of your treatment, then you can work on eating without restriction. And as much as I just want you to work out, what can I do on top of this structure that for right now, just for right now, feels that it's what I need? How can I make this work? Because if you know me, you know that my take on a lot of eating disorder treatment is this is pretty shit. But we don't want to take away something that you've identified as something that's actually really helping you stay alive. We don't want to take that away right now. We have to supplement that. You have to work out, how can I use this structure as something now I'm going to pile on my recovery on top of it. So I hope that helps, but it's difficult. Treatment's not perfect. No one's perfect. Melon has said, I was wondering what was going through your mind when you got kicked out of the gym. Yeah. For those of you that haven't read any of my books or stuff like that, I actually got banned from at least 2 gyms. It might have been 3. I think it was actually in the end 3. But the first gym that I got banned from was for excessive use of the gym. And what happened, first of all, is the gym manager called me into her office. And I guess because I was very underweight and I was in the gym all day, I was probably freaking out the other people in the gym. They're like, that girl looks like she's dying. And it's just probably scary for people to watch me. It looked fucking awful. And so the gym manager called me in, and the first time she was really nice about it. She was like, hey, so we've had some complaints from members about your use of the gym and people worried about the state of your health and things like that. She was super nice. And she's like, would you consider using the gym less? And I was like, sure. Walked out her office, didn't change any of my behaviors. Like, I just kept being in the gym all day. And then, so then after probably a month went by and she called me back in, and I was obsessed with spin classes. I was probably going to 2 or 3 spin classes a day at that point. So then she called me back in. She was like, so yeah, about that excessive gym usage. We would like to put you on a plan, which means that you can only come into the gym once a day. So you can only come into the gym once a day and you can only take 1 fitness class a day. I was like, fuck you. but okay. I didn't actually say that. I was like, what, really? And then she's like, no, we really worried about you, so we're going to say that you can only take one spin class a day, and you can only come in and that you can only, because you used to used a card to go in and out. So she's like, we'll be watching your usage. Of course. So what I did is I tried to kind of like cheat it. I tried to go in once and then stay in the gym and do back-to-back spin classes, so that, like, me thinking nobody would notice that I was doing that. So I'd just stay in the room. I'd stay in that sweaty, stinky, gross spin cave and try and do back-to-back spin classes, which I got away with through a week or so. And then the manager called me and she's like, so I'm going to have to revoke your gym membership, and I'm actually going to ban you from the gym. And I was, at that moment, the fear that went through me was like a cold sweat. Like if you just go totally cold sweat, like this petrified feeling of just like, it was as if she had just told me that a very dear member of my family had died. I was just devastated, which is fucked up. It's fucked up to have that sort of reaction about being told that you can't go into a gym anymore. I felt like talk about the rug being ripped out from underneath me. I just felt like gutted is not a strong enough word. And of course I started crying right then and there, and I begged her, and no, we made this decision. They revoked my gym membership. And they probably put my little face up on, like, all the reception desks. Do not allow this maniac into the gym. I hated her. So fucking angry. Livid. Now I look back and I'm like, she did the right thing for sure. Maybe not, I don't know. How do you tell someone like that? Like how it's like if she'd said to me, let's get you help and take you to a therapist, I would have been like, double fuck you, bitch. I'm not going to a therapist. I didn't want to hear it. So how could she have done that differently? I think ultimately I'm like, I don't know what I would have done in her situation. She didn't ever mention an eating disorder. No one ever, didn't do that, but anything like that. She didn't accuse me of having an eating disorder or anything like that. They just said that they worried about my low body weight and my excessive use of the gym, which was very excessive. So that's how I felt. That was what was going through my mind. And then when I got over that holy shit panic, I just went straight out and joined another couple of gyms. And that was me thinking I was smart. I was like, well, if I join 2 gyms, then they won't know. I can go to one in the morning and go to one in the afternoon, and nobody's going to cotton on to me. Oh my God. It's so sad, isn't it? Like that's it's just really sad. And I feel so sad for myself at that. I just feel so sad for myself at that point in my life. Like, especially I can't remember exactly how old I am. I was probably between the age of 19 and 23 in that, like early 20s. Most people in their early 20s, if they're getting into trouble, if they're getting stressed out about something, it's usually about sex, relationships, staying out too late, not getting up to go to college in the morning. It's just stuff like that. And my biggest stress was getting barred from gyms and trying to work out how I could feed my excessive exercise compulsion and go to all these different gyms. And I just feel really sad for myself, because that at that time, that felt like a devastating thing to me. And it was like this big problem, and I had to solve it. And I could have just been doing so many other things with my brain and with my life and worrying about different things. I wish I'd had normal problems to worry about. I wish I'd been pissed off with a boyfriend most of the time or something like that, but I wasn't. It's not what I was thinking about. That's not what I was worried about. And it's just so boring and uninteresting that's what my life was. My life consisted of trying to spend all day in a gym and exercising as much as possible. And it's just because I quite like my brain. I like the way I think. I like the way I can be quite smart sometimes. And I just think, I just missed being me for a really long time. I really missed being me. And I'm not afraid to say I like being me. I like myself. And I just wish that I had been me in my early 20s, because that probably would have been a really cool time of my life. And I was quite And I am quite a fun person and mischievous. And so I would have got up to all sorts of shit in my 20s. And I would have had some really good stories to tell. And I just feel like I missed a lot of that. And that makes me really sad. But it does make me sad when I remember how my brain worked and how awfully afraid I was from being barred from a gym. And I got barred from more gyms, so I had good reason to be afraid for it because it was going to happen again. But it was horrible to be in that brain. It was so horrible to be in that place. Anyway, so Melon, that's the answer to the question, what was going through my mind when I got kicked out of the gym. Right. Holly, did you ever miss your eating disorder days? Fuck no. Nico says, I was wrongly accused and publicly embarrassed on multiple occasions for suspected stealing in the store, which I never did because I wasn't things for longer than most people. How to address with managers, because it's quite humiliating. Well, how to address that? Stop reading labels and being a weirdo, because that's what that is, honestly, isn't it? It's a strange behavior. That's why people are noticing it, Nico. You're doing it because you have an eating disorder and because you're obsessed and you're worried about gaining weight and you're obsessed about what's in what you're eating. So focus on not allowing yourself to indulge that obsession. Be a normal ass human when you go to the store and pick up food and put it in your basket and don't look at the label on the back. That would be. So then you don't need to address it with the manager, do you? You just need to stop being weird about the way that you shop. Which is a lot easier said than done, but that's recovery, Nico. We have to stop being weird. We have to stop acting as if we have an eating disorder if we want to not have an eating disorder. And that means you're going to have to walk into a store and you're going to have to pick up food and everything in your body is going to say, look at the back, look at the back, look at the back, check the calories, check the calories, check the calories. And you're going to have to ignore all of that and you're going to have to put it in your basket without checking the calories. And it will feel like your whole body is itching and you just want to scratch it and you just want to look on the back of the label, but you're not going to let yourself and you're going to buy that thing and you're going to walk out the store and you're going to eat it. And then you're going to repeat that until you get to the point where you don't even think about looking on the label on the back and it's easy. And that's what recovery is about. We don't give in to the compulsions. We oppose the compulsions repetitively until our brain no longer wants to do weird shit. Hope that's clear. All right. Okay, one more. What are your thoughts on homeopathic medicine for weight suppression? I don't know what that question means. I don't know. I never thought about it, I have to admit. If you're in recovery from an eating disorder, you should not be doing anything to suppress your natural body weight because that's not recovery, that's actually restriction. So, I guess that's my answer. Don't do it. Now, if I don't know about homeopathic stuff, I really don't. Never try it. I don't even really know what I'd be talking about. Is homeopathy is like where stuff smells nice? I don't know. Or is it like, is that what arnica is? It's a homeopathic medicine. I know my mum used to give me that if I hurt myself or something like that. But that's just about as much as I know about that. So sorry, I can't reliably answer a question on my opinion on homeopathic stuff because I know nothing about it. But my opinion on anything that's supposed to be a body weight suppression is that if you're in recovery from a restrictive eating disorder, you shouldn't even be thinking about that, should you? All right, guys, I gotta go.